Welcome, welcome, welcome. We're just about ready to get started here. Want to say thanks to all the Hogs Haven folks who are joining us on this Tuesday night. I'm going to take the feed from First Amendment and I'm going to put it on Hogs Haven here. Let's find out how we're doing. There we go. Live now. Let's share it. Let's share this. All right. Great picture of Kevin talking on his phone.
You got it?
Copy. This is what I do at Hogs. I've been doing it at Hogs Haven. By the way, this is a 10-year anniversary for Hogs Haven for me. January 2009. Probably right around this same time, right around the Super Bowl is when I took over for Kevin and I, Ewald and I took over at Hogs Haven. So 10 years. Let's see here. Search videos. And also, if Ewald's watching, he'll love the fact that I'm struggling to embed a video, which is the most ridiculous thing. But we're going to do it. This is like the best podcast material when people are like, why did we tune in early to see Ken? But this is what you get. This is it. Sorry. It's the age of podcasting is the age of watching people do stuff on a computer. All right, so insert embed. I'm putting this out there. We might get some extra folks at Hogs Haven to watch as a result of this is my goal. Because we're not on Facebook Live anymore. I feel like maybe we need to talk about that. Like we haven't hugged it all the way out yet. We were only Facebook Live for the first year that we did video, and now all of a sudden we're just like never Facebook Live again. Sorry. Never Facebook Live again. I mean, for the most part, for the show. All right. We're good. Okay, let's get started. Do yachts have basements? Keep that in mind. Did you have that on the time you wanted it to start?
No.
Okay. Here we go. Thank you very much for joining us on another Tuesday night. From the Basement Podcast Studios of First Amendment Sports, I'm Ken Marangolo. He's Kevin Ricca.
Snowing up here in town, so it's the two of us tonight. Happy to be here. Wish our man T was with us, but he's happy as hell at home.
He sure is.
We got ourselves another Redskins fan.
And we know he'll be raised the right way.
Yes, he will.
Luke Steven Strachan, welcome to the world, my brother. We appreciate Leslie, letting T join us for the high school show earlier tonight. But you know, two shows in a row on a Tuesday night on like the first day Leslie's back. Come on. That's a lot to ask. That's a lot.
Big shout outs to Mrs. Leslie Strachan.
That's right.
Well done. We're so happy. Our First Amendment sports family has grown. Our Redskins fanship has grown. And our brother has got himself a baby boy. And I know he's jumping out of his shoes right now.
I hope you're still awake. I know Luke's still awake for the show. We are proud to welcome you guys to the Audible, an abbreviated, ragtag assembly of the Audible. And this is our Redskins show on Hogs Haven. We appreciate all you guys at Hogs Haven checking us out. Our off-season show is called Offseason on the Brink. And ever since, I feel like maybe we need to even consider changing the name in the future. I love the idea of it, but no off-season has been lacking of brinkiness since we started doing this show. I mean, that's probably the case for much
basically
longer.
What we're asking is, how much longer do us a-holes want to sit on the brink? Is that what you're saying?
I mean, it has been Brinkalicious for a long time, way longer than we've been doing this. This show is only about 3 years old, so people who have been Redskins fans for much longer than that know that, hey, off seasons have been weird for a very long time. The off season we find ourselves in today. So we were out last Tuesday because we were calling an awesome an awesome high school basketball game.
Might as well have been a college.
It might as well have been a college game, the level of competition. The girls, Bishop McNamara High School, St. John's High School, Cadets and Mustangs, two of the top 3 ranked teams in the country. Still,
the only 2 that have been ranked number 1 in the country up until
right.
the game last
and
week.
McNamara's 3 nationally now?
It was ridiculous, yes. St. John's is 2, McNamara's 3.
Okay, so you got, and we're going to be, by the way, we will be broadcasting that game live next Saturday night, February 9th, the rematch. This was a game that went to overtime. 1 versus 3 in the country. They just happened to play each other home and away because they're in the same conference. We're going to be back at St. John's on the 9th, calling that game. Check us out, First Amendment Sports. Please hit the subscribe button. It's completely free. I mean, it's the easy. Smash it. I have been told smash is
squash it.
Well, you could squash it. Yeah. From Gonzaga, you squash things. Even though you lost to the Wakefield and Landon this week. Let's get your squash team together, Gonzaga, please. But I digress. The Redskins off-season, in summary, over the last 2 weeks, hasn't changed too much since the last time we talked. But, Kevin, it's that terrible taste. It's that I hate to associate very serious things with being a football fan. There's a lot worse things in life than being, depressed by your football team. But they're kind of depressing. They just are.
Yeah, but it's part of life.
Yeah,
you either show a little loyalty or you just head on out to greener pastures and try and figure out what you want to do then. And yourself and everyone involved with this First Amendment Sports gig, we've anchored in. So we're ready for all storms. Now we know they're coming, and we know that at the most important position in professional sports is what we got to worry about the most, and that sucks a big fat one. Not going to lie about that. It's no fun trying to figure this crap out, but that's what we're going to discuss here for the rest of at least the next 10 minutes, I believe. At least
the next 10 minutes. I have definitely have a drawer full of bulletproof underwear thanks to this team. We can take the heat. We can sit and find a way to love the Redskins. But let's just talk. I try to make my six-pack this week kind of take a step back and say, okay, what are our most realistic options from a ideological standpoint without getting into who we want to take specifically in the draft? We are hamstrung as an organization because of freakish, flukish things. We were on a podcast live in April, I believe. Was it April? It was around. Was it? No, the Easter one was Donovan McNabb. Whatever time the Alex Smith deal was made, we did that live.
It was Super Bowl week. It was. I think it might have been 1 year ago tonight.
Was it 1 year? It was real close to this time.
Very close to Super Bowl. Yes.
I love the deal then. I mean, people don't get stupid, all right? If you could go back and not trade for a guy that had one of the most catastrophic leg breaks that you've ever seen and may never play again and was just in one of those like crazy Hellraiser casts, yeah, you probably go back and not do that trade. I get it. But we did it. I was happy about it for all the right reasons. He's a great quarterback to have. He's a professional. He's productive. And he, from a market standpoint, was not breaking the bank. It's amazing all of a sudden how bad your salary looks when you may never walk right again.
Yeah, that's true. And we have an in-house external fixator specialist, Mr. Kevin Walsh, local listener, said he would dime us up anytime we wanted to talk about it. And then as soon as he sent that text, all of a sudden we announced, we don't think Alex Smith is going to be able to play this year. We'll know.
Be pleasantly surprised.
Shit.
If you say you'll be pleasantly surprised if Alex Smith is going to play this year. Here's how I equate that. I equate that as if you're in the boarding area for a flight and they delay it for 15 minutes. No flight's ever been delayed for 15 minutes. You get the 15-minute delay, you're getting a 30 to 45-minute delay almost, within the next 10 or 15 minutes. You just know it. They're slow playing you. If the Redskins say they're pleasantly surprised Alex Smith is playing it, I read that as there's no way in hell he plays in 2019, and they're lighting candles all over Redskins Park for the chance he can suit up in 2020.
There is just not a damn chance in hell that he's playing football again.
Okay, that's
how I feel.
Okay.
We saw the injury. We know how old he is. I don't care what. Listen, this isn't jump back on that horse and ride it again. This was a spiral fracture. This was the most disturbing way to break your leg.
Yep.
I mean, this is just grotesque. We were fighting. We were praying on a nightly basis in my house for his it was nerve-wracking about his
Of
life.
course, without a doubt.
Whether it be he was
The
going
infections.
to lose a leg, or you know what happens in hospitals with infections and MRSA and
People
all
die.
this? Nothing good.
That's right.
So I'm just ecstatic. A class act, a guy that came in and took over this locker room with nothing but professionalism, kind of showed some guys the way. Maybe he rubbed off on a few cats, and I know they all respected him to the fullest. I'm glad we got to see a glimpse of that, and our team did as well. You cannot possibly imagine that
I'm
he
with
could
you.
return.
My money, if we always, everything comes down to what would you put your money on. I don't think it's likely that he plays again.
How?
But here's the thing about Alex Smith to me. He didn't play terrible. I know some people hate him. I think the people that hate Alex Smith for what he did on the field are wrong. He was a good player for the Washington Redskins. He did exactly what Jay Gruden wanted him to do once Jay Gruden understood what he had on the defensive side. When everything was working, everyone did their job. Alex, if I'm talking to Alex Smith right now, I'm telling him, dude, don't play. You have $51 million coming your way no matter what. You're set for life. Your family's set for life. You can provide. You can do anything you want in life. He's going to do great things with that money. I mean, if anyone should have $51 million coming their way, it should be a guy like him.
And if anyone thinks that he should return one dime of that,
Which he should not.
then put yourself in those shoes real quick and
Never.
think about how crazy you are.
He's going to take that money, okay? He should never play again, and he should take that money and he should get on to phase 2 of Alex Smith's life, which we should all be excited to learn about, because I'm telling you, he's a good guy, and he's going to probably do something amazing with that money. I hope that they're able to convince him to stick around, maybe for a year, maybe for another year and a half, to be a, hey, listen, we're giving you $51 million. Would you consider being like a quality control guy, or just something that we can have around?
He's not the type of guy to take the money and run.
Be a role model, be a leader, be active. He knows Jay Gruden's system. He can be helpful.
Big brother to the quarterback we drafted.
Make him a quarterback coach. I mean, we just we have a new offensive coordinator. He used to be a quarterback coach, right?
Yes, that is a fact. Kevin O'Connell is in the mix. We're interviewing Ken Zampese for the quarterback coaching job. So I guess I think league rules would suggest that we could not interview Alex Smith for that position as of yet.
No.
Or transfer said funds.
Which is a great point, Kev, which segues right into the meat of the argument. What can the Redskins do? The Redskins can't really cut Alex Smith. It doesn't make a ton of sense unless you're willing to do it for a very specific reason, which is to completely submarine the 2019 campaign and make FedEx literally the house of sadness.
Just when you thought you'd seen every predicament.
Just when you see every predicament. So that's a possibility. I don't think it's a likely one. It's a $40+ million salary cap hit right away. Forget it. Which is also, to your point, Kevin, why he won't be a coach, because he'll be a player on our paying roster this season, no matter what. I don't think there's any way that doesn't happen. So then, as far as Alex Smith is concerned, before we get off Alex Smith, no matter what we do, because he's going to be on our roster and we're paying him in 2019, we have a whole year to watch him and talk ourselves being Bruce Allen, Doug Williams, and those guys, into the idea that Alex Smith can never play again. But that decision, that thought, and that analysis is not going to happen for another year. Next January, next February. So obviously there's a lot that goes into building a roster and an organization on a year-to-year basis. It's going to happen before we can even answer that question. And that means for the quarterback position, we have $20 million already slotted to a guy we know is not going to play. Colt McCoy is on the God's greatest contract ever. It's like $2 or $3 million we're paying him for this season. Comes in as your projected starter. Who else do you put next to him on the roster, and how do you go about doing it? I argue that there's nobody that's going to be available that has played ball that we would be excited about, that's going to cost us less than $15 to $20 million, and I don't think we pay that.
Even on a one-year deal?
At that point in time, I want to know the guy. And I know for the purpose of this conversation, I'm going to make the argument to not do it based on value. But on a one-year deal, $15 to $20 million. So I guess, Kevin, I made the argument that the Redskins would see the $40+ million salary cap penalty that they would incur if they cut Alex Smith as a potential guiding figure in another really terrible scenario in which they pay the quarterback position $40 to $50 million.
True.
Which
I wasn't suggesting I was disagreeing.
Yeah, no, you could do that.
I'm not going to.
So, but I mean, I think you're taking your pick of some guys who are going to be less exciting to any of us than Colt McCoy, and in my latest and greatest push for the Redskins in the draft, and I feel it building steam. This year, I might not be calling for a center in the first round, Kevin. I was always quarterback second or third, find someone, but I think for us, we need somebody that has a chance to play, to start in this league, potentially this season, and he comes in on a 40-year deal worth about $15 million.
Yeah, but, and I said this, I agree. Salary cap wise, there's no other way to get around it. Around $3 million a year is a lot better than, Teddy Bridgewater for what, 15?
Yeah.
Say that 15. Keep that 15 number. Nick Foles ain't 15 and nobody for nothing. Nick Foles is getting paid.
He's getting 20.
So take him out of the equation.
Correct.
Because Nick Foles ain't coming here on a 1 year nothing.
And Teddy Bridgewater is
nothing.
intriguing.
And he is. And
On a
he's the
1 year
only
deal.
name that is, because then you got Tyrod Taylor, going to have to get some money for a year, but maybe not a ton, but that's pretty much punting on third down.
Oh, Tyrod Taylor, by the way, Tyrod Taylor is the perfect Redskins quarterback for our for our lineage of quarterbacks.
For the history of
But
right.
Teddy Bridgewater, to me, has upside potential and excitement potential, because doesn't this decision have at least some component of appealing to the fan base?
I mean, if we want to go back to the old school debates about who should be starting week in, week out, Colt McCoy or Teddy Bridgewater, and you imagine, a guy like Teddy Bridgewater after the one season he had, then you got to go up against a guy that's been here for 6-7 years, that understands the system as well as anyone who's a Gruden guy. I guess so, but that's a stopgap. I don't know that he can come in and take this franchise over. That was the grotesque knee injury. I don't know if he's been the same. No one can, aside from, maybe Sean Payton, who's seen him up close on a weekly basis, but he ain't getting reps. I'm sorry, Taysom Hill gets more reps than any second.
I would trade for Taysom Hill.
Well, hold on. I have Taysom Hill circled over here just for that pleasure. But
he's
got one more year in his deal, and Sean Payton ain't letting go of that for no reason, no way, no how.
God, I wanted him to be in the Super Bowl so bad for Taysom Hill.
I mean, you got to give Fitzmagic more than $15 million maybe to come down here and sling around,
On a 1 year deal, I think Fitzmagic would do it for 15 to 20.
Maybe.
To me, that's enticing. It's fun because I promise you, we could be in for some long days, the weird part about, so also baked into this quarterback decision, which is everything for our offseason. It's the entire offseason. We get this right, we actually have a chance to win in 2019. That sounds crazy.
Getting this right is like a 5-team parlay, by the way.
It is unbelievable how crazy it would be if they get this right. It's not a stopgap per se, but it's a bridge strategy, right? Because we have to get over and past, essentially, what some people would call a mistake. But the Alex Smith injury is debilitating.
I mean, come on.
It sets you back.
Hindsight's 20/20.
No.
Yeah, I know.
I'm just saying we have to deal with it. I mean, it's a $40 million cap penalty.
Yes, it is a mistake, but it wasn't,
No. I don't want to call it that. I mean, I apologize for calling it a mistake, the trade. But I'm just saying, when a team has to deal with something like this, it's momentous, and the Redskins have to deal with it. So some people call it a mistake, not us. They're trying to, this year, 2019, from a quarterback standpoint, it's all about getting us to 2020/2021, because that's when we get out from under this contract. That's when we have a lot of dollars freed up to go at a quarterback, even if we draft a first-round quarterback. The thing about the NFL today, Kevin, and you know how I am and how I view the world, but the teams with the guys who are
rose-colored glasses.
Well, no, the rookie contracts. Quarterbacks on rookie contracts. When a team gets a guy on a rookie contract, the Mahomes, the Jared Goffs, specifically. But when you get a guy on a rookie contract,
the problem is there's none of those guys in this draft. That's the only issue.
That's fair. That's totally fair.
But that doesn't mean we don't have to go get one of them.
But here's the thing. I would if we can even get a guy that's just a little bit more of a contributor to our team over the life of his contract than, say, like a Josh Doxson, but somebody who can play, who gives you something. You're not going to re-sign him, but you got a blue chip prospect who can play the game for relatively little money.
All right, well, then let's just say the blue chip prospects. There's only 3 of them, correct?
So you're saying...
all right, well, you might think there's 4.
No,
I think there's
Haskins,
3.
Locke, and Jones.
Oh, I'm not a Locke guy. I'm not going to be a
Okay.
Locke guy, and I don't want Locke.
Who would you take over Locke?
I think Locke. I think the guy that I would magic-wise to come in here.
Gardner Minshew.
No.
I want Gardner Minshew. I would. By the way, I would draft Gardner
Listen,
Minshew.
people, you can laugh at me
With
all you
whoever.
want, and I don't give a damn. The only guy that I think has the magic to come in here, Kyler Murray, man.
So I think he's going to be available at 15.
I don't.
I don't think anyone's drafting him that high.
The one thing that we have seen happen for eternity, but especially in the last few years in this draft, is all of a sudden guys that we did not consider up until 3 weeks before the draft make bull charges to the front into the ring. And I'm telling you, this Kyler Murray guy is an intriguing prospect.
But people bull charged for their guy already. Like last year was a record-setting year. People that the teams
he's getting bull charged.
Kyler Murray isn't even the best quarterback in a crappy quarterback draft.
I think he might be.
You think he's number? I mean, do you think he's to be the first quarterback taken?
I know he's the best athlete, so forget about that.
Yeah.
Pure drop back passer. I think that you got Haskins and Jones. I do not think they are plug and play. So part of it is the anticipation of wanting to be great right away. I think those are guys that you can say, all right, Colt McCoy for a year can tutor these guys and blah, blah, blah. But I don't know if they're year one guys that you just come out there and let them and feed them to the wolves. You know, Haskins is a local guy. We watched him in the IC 3 years ago. You know, and I can't get that out of my head. And it's great football
big
around here. But, you know, he was a superstar, but they didn't go crazy. And Daniel Jones is certainly, I don't want to say a project at this point, but he's been one. And Cutcliffe has said the strides he's made, the athleticism he shows, the ceiling that Haskins and a Daniel Jones have are very intriguing.
That's why I think those guys are going to jump up.
But so Colt McCoy comes out here and has a hip injury in pregame and preseason, and now we're looking around going, what the heck? I think a guy like that gives us, with your contract that you're talking about, you know, a little over $3 million a year for 4 years. You know, 3.5. I think Kyler Murray is a guy with the type of magic and the type of swag that a Baker Mayfield shows up in the league with. And if you look at his numbers, they're so similar to his passing numbers. It's crazy. And there's rushing numbers. The ability for us to create off-schedule plays with a Kyler Murray. All of a sudden.
I'm not signing up for a guy to come in and win for us on the ground because he won't last.
Nor am I. So
quarters.
let me get to my point here.
Okay.
There's a guy that plays in Seattle that absolutely
Dangerous?
shocked everyone. Dangerous has been ridiculous. And I know they're not the same. I know Kyler Murray is smaller.
Yeah.
But I think a guy like Kyler Murray, and you know what? T-Stracken's going to rip me apart. People are going to rip me apart. I'm good with it. I just think he's a magic, special individual that transcends this position. Yes, he's not the typical prototype, but I think he's a type of guy that could turn around the culture with his dynamic abilities to play football. His arm strength is live.
And he would also play for the Nats.
And no, he's not playing for the Nats.
I think he might. I think whoever gets him, I think the
Boris
baseball
is his
team
agent.
has a chance.
Boris is his agent.
Yes.
So the Nats definitely have. But our outfield is stacked.
Oh, God. If Boris and Snyder start becoming tight, that is the worst possible thing that could happen to us.
I am not afraid of Kyler Murray. And a lot of people are going to be. And a lot of people are going to say I'm nuts. And I'm comfortable enough to say I don't expect him to win with his feet, Ken.
He can't.
I don't.
I don't even want him trying to. I don't want him like 5 a game.
But you look
tops.
at all of a sudden you have a Darius Geis. You have a guy that.
Yeah.
So, say protection breakdowns and 3rd and 3 and that's just a cool cat to have back there for those. No, but I'm talking about. I think he's the type of guy that leads a come from behind drive. I think he's got the magic.
He's probably the only guy that can survive behind an offensive line that has like offensive lineman number 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20.
That's where he reminds me of Russ Wilson,
yes.
not because of his measurements, his ability to not take hits.
Yeah.
To not take hits.
That's Russ Wilson's.
I know, and I think
calling card.
And this is, and I've fallen in love with the speedster. You know,
that's great.
The younger receivers.
I love that.
You know, Deebo
you know
Samuels.
Do you feel the same way about him that I felt about Baker?
I want to bring both of those little guys into DC. I want Marquise to come catch balls from him as well. I don't care in the second round. I don't give a damn. I want to be fast as hell.
I think Marquise is going to get a first round draft.
I know. I think that's
on speed alone.
Between now and the draft, He's going to fluctuate between first and third round, and he's going to wind up being a late first round choice.
I also we have to make an early call on this because one of the quarterbacks is going to capture everyone's fancy and all of a sudden be in the top 5 in this draft. And
It's going to be Haskins.
I think it's like weirdly could be Daniel Jones, and I only because I feel like someone's going to get infatuated with the Cutcliffe angle. The raw, what
he has a ceiling.
It's
that
untapped. It's
very exciting.
It's very untapped, and I'm
huge,
telling you,
he's fast.
And people want to be right so
His
bad.
arm is live.
People want to be right in the NFL. Don't ever underestimate people's all they care about. They just want to be right so bad. Someone's going to take a chance on. I think it's going to be Daniel Jones as a number 1 quarterback off the board because they're going to see something there and be like, I want to be the guy who got this one right.
Yeah, and it's going to be Bill Belichick. And he's going to be able to keep him on the roster for 2 or 3 years.
Daniel Jones at the bottom of the first, do you think?
That would be the perfect spot for him to go.
Oh, and if he did. But he's not going to allow.
Some people have him in the 3rd round today, right now. I mean, listen, shout out Steve Schaup. Love him at Fanspeak. I can't stop doing the simulator.
Of course.
I can't do it. I've already started. And if you're listening, jump in there. Go to Fanspeak. Get on the simulator. You can upgrade. You can pay a couple bucks and get trades and this, that, and the other. But it's so much fun. It'll familiarize how the draft, every different angle coming down. And, you know, I've been getting mad if I can't get Kyler Murray. And I'm trying to figure out who we got there at 15. But I think this, Ken, if we're going to get a quarterback, I don't think we sit and wait to catch at 15. I think we have to be active, and I said it to you earlier. I know we don't have picks to wheel around, but we do have 2/3. And if you're talking about the most important position in sports, and you trust Doug Williams,
but how high?
There's a bunch
you
of
have
ifs.
to trade up?
So many ifs.
Because from 15 into the top 10,
you got to get into the top 10, and I don't care if it's 9. And you look at it right now. Who does need a quarterback? You look
then
at
I think
the
you're
Giants.
still.
The Giants might need one. Pittsburgh might need one. Cincinnati.
I
think New England does. Miami.
Where's New England?
Jacksonville. New England is drafting. I have them drafting last because I have them rolling in the Super Bowl. So, but who's the 9th pick here? Detroit at 8 with Stafford.
They're all in on Stafford.
Denver at 10. Elway falls in love with a different quarterback every 5 seconds.
Denver is a threat to take a quarterback in
the
the first
Buffalo
round.
Bills at 9.
No, they love.
I know.
They
That's what I'm saying.
They love Josh.
That's what I'm saying. So there's going to be opportunity to jump in there and.
So it's going to cost our 2nd this year. And another pick, and I don't know if it's a 3rd, if it's one of those 3rds or not. I don't know what that extra pick is.
And I'm not saying that I think we should do all that. I'm saying 2 separate things. One, I love Kyler Murray.
Yep.
Separately, I'm not saying that we give up our 2nd, someone else, and then like a 5th to acquire.
It's going to be. It's going to cost our 2nd round spots. And something.
Right.
To
I'm not saying that we're in a position to do that. What I'm saying is, if we're going to be serious about drafting one of these guys, and I'm following your theory about this salary cap situation plus lack of quarterback situation, that I do believe you can't sit there at 15 and hope for the best because you're going to get left sitting there with your lollipop in your hand and your pants at your ankles and Ice Cream Man is gone.
I might draft a quarterback in the bottom half of the first round once every 3 or 4 years, no matter what. I think from a organization franchise building perspective,
I feel that way about the cornerback position.
I feel that way about the cornerback position too. I love cornerbacks and offensive linemen for that matter. Although I would draft offensive linemen 2 of those 4
edge
years.
rushers. Are we still talking about first
No.
round? I just love pass rushers, cornerbacks, quarterbacks.
But if you have
someone's going to give them a second chance, so you're going to get a little bit of value.
If you're drafting, to me, I want to be in the business of developing and selling and flipping quarterbacks. New England's been doing it, and they've been doing it well.
I think Daniel Jones makes perfect sense for him.
What's that?
I think they would jump up and take a Daniel Jones.
Oh yeah, so you and I disagree because I think. By the way, New England always has the draft bullets to make a jump up and get a guy like Daniel Jones because they stockpile. But
this year Oakland has the bullets, and that's interesting to me as well.
And they have that whole issue with Derek Carr, who I know John Gruden loves Derek Carr, and now Derek Carr was in some kind of Twitter fight with some talking head.
He was messing around. But they do have the 4th pick, the 24th pick, and the 27th pick, and
they should. I mean, that's BPA. If you have someone you trust making the picks, and you have that many top picks, BPA.
Yeah, well,
4 best players you can find.
2 guys they trust, and they just paid a whole lot of money to.
So I wanted Mike Mayock We wanted Mike
I know.
Mayock.
Because we want someone to punch someone in the face around Redskins Park in Ashburn. There would have been some face punching going on by now if we got him last year.
Talk about the biggest
Faces would have been punched.
cock tease ever, where it's rumored that Oakland's going to take Bruce Allen off our hands. This was like 2 months ago.
Ugh.
And now, not only do they not take Bruce Allen off our hands, but we also are locked out of the Mike Mayock game.
Lucifer's going to take Snyder off your hands, too. It's
if you're
going to
give someone the ability...
And Harper's going to Philly. Like, what are we doing?
He might be like the McVay of GMs on the older side.
Oh, gosh.
I bet he could still pull some crazy ass, too, if he was just like McVaying it up. I mean, Mike Mayock could get it done.
My dad's team beat Grandpa McVay's team in the WFL. That came out this week. My brother Keith is an excellent researcher. We got to get him on here. McVay
pulls ass.
Stop.
Sorry.
His high school picture was all like nerdy and blah, blah.
He played in a championship game with a broken foot, and he ran for like 300 yards.
I love McVay, but you can't just say stuff like McVay pulls ass. Like,
if you watch all the episodes of this season and last season, it's a very well thought out. You just got to put all the lines together. That's my conclusion. That's my thesis.
It's a great thesis statement, but it's understood.
Dude, that's why it's my thesis. Needs no defense. I
don't know. I have no further comment.
I'm rooting for McVay this Sunday.
I love the guy, man. It would be the oldest coach to ever win a Super Bowl or the youngest coach to ever win a Super Bowl. That's fun.
Is Belichick now the oldest coach?
He would be, if he wins this particular Super Bowl, the oldest.
Man.
For the first time.
There's been some old-ass guys who've won some big football games. For him to be that's pretty good for him.
It is. Oldest versus youngest, it's incredible.
It's great.
Everyone that tapped out and was like, I'm no longer watching the NFL. Like, what? Well, you know what you missed last weekend? You know what you're about 2 weekends ago? I guess, no, it was last. We're off. We're in.
Taysom Hill got himself a touchdown. That was one of the best moments of my weekend.
Whatever it is, it's the greatest. It was an amazing, amazing situation. The championship games are ridiculous. I don't think the Super Bowl is going to be as closely contested. But
they always are.
I'm usually wrong.
But I think Bill Belichick's like any of the greatest coaches of all time, which I put Joe Gibbs in that conversation. Bill Walsh, Vince Lombardi. These guys have proven throughout their careers that they want to be in a close game to control, to have the control, because they have no fear that they'll lose. I mean, Joe Gibbs' whole strategy was like, we win close games. Like, that's what we do. We can do that as long as I keep the game close. We win because we're incrementally better and on the execution side and on the talent side. So let's just manage. Let's just run halfback leads with 2 tight ends.
And as that unfolds,
8-minute drives.
Third-year Goff all of a sudden makes 2 mistakes in the first half with an injured Gurley, and this game is so close to being over.
Goff can't do that.
How it goes the other way.
I'm betting on Gurley, but Goff can certainly F it up if he's
Gurley
not
had
careful.
2 weeks to get healthy before the playoffs started, and he wasn't. He just can't get there.
So the Rams can't
He
beat
needs
the Patriots
surgery
without
to
him.
get there.
Yeah, he does.
And he's not going to be there. And, he was funny as hell yesterday talking about someone was talking about owning cats, and he said, they said, well, cat shit in the house. He said, what? I shit in the house. I was like, seems very easy to explain. Todd Gurley,
he has to get
for all
carries.
you guys listening out there, also takes shits in his own house. You don't hear that all the time. But it was kind of a tame Super Bowl thing, and I just have this awful feeling about, I don't want New England to win again and again and again.
Sure.
I don't. But Jesus H, if you don't think they're rolling in here with a head full of steam, going up against the youngest coach, a third-year quarterback who was thought to be a bust a season and a half ago, an injured tailback, and a great D-line, but you know what? Maybe haven't performed all together as equally as Aaron Donald brings it every week. And Dominican Sue's been known to take a game or 2 off here and there. Is it Bruckers, Braxton, whatever. He's a beast, and then all of a sudden Brockers, and you see him all of a sudden, just chilling on a screen pass. Like, Wade is a beast, though.
If New England's going to lay off Gurley, the way you would play Gurley 100%, if they're not going to play him that way, he can hurt him. He's got to catch the ball. He had those drops early in the game, in the championship.
He wasn't ready to play.
No.
And he's an amazing. I love him.
Yep.
I love him. So don't. He wasn't. He turned around after that second drop and started pointing at someone else. You could just tell. And when you're not physically 100% and you're closer to 50 than 100, because that's what it looked like. He was on all balls, heart, and adrenaline.
He did get that touchdown.
Yeah. back-to-back weeks.
I'm hoping for a little magic also because, and I don't think it's been talked about enough. Maybe I'm not watching the right things or listening to the right shows, but this is a rematch for Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a rematch Super
One
Bowl.
of the same quarterbacks. Just Kurt Warner's been already inducted into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I mean, I want to. I feel it's like in Superbad when Jonah Hill is he's spooning Michael and he's saying I want to scream it from the rooftops. That's how I feel. I'm like, this is a rematch. Tom Brady has already played in this game once, and
against
the guy
Mike Martz and Kurt Warner. Yes,
and so I love and it was a high flying offense. In that time, when the Rams and Patriots squared off in the Super Bowl, I think that you're doing yourself a disservice if you're just like, hey, it could be a good game, could be a bad game, whatever. I mean, I think there's history here. I mean, there's history here because there's like the same people who played
just two.
The two most important ones, Belichick and Brady, were in this game against the Rams already once in their careers. I think that's crazy, and to me, that's the thing that gets me, amped up about a game.
It's insane.
Championship rematches, you don't always get them. I mean, the next time we get Lakers Celtics, the next time we get Yankees Red Sox, of course they're both American League, but next time we get this is a big one.
Super Bowl 36 was the last time that these two teams played against each other in the Super Bowl.
That was 2002. That was 16 years ago.
It's unbelievable to me. That's unbelievable. Super Bowl 36.
Yeah.
I mean,
that to me puts it in perspective. I mean, I think football fans who say I hate Tom Brady, whatever. You don't root against him, and you don't not understand like what he is and what he's done and what he's been able to do. It's nuts, and we live in a world that is just championships. Chips as Darren and Kevin call them. Chips are everything. And this guy plays for chips. So, that's like the greatness of LeBron. The whole world loves to hate LeBron. If you don't love LeBron, then you love to hate LeBron. And there's not a whole lot of middle ground. LeBron James is that kind of guy. And you forget, all he does is play for championships. He plays for championships. So, to me, the greatest players of all time in all sports are the greatest players. But to me, they also have to be guys who just play in championship games all the time.
I do subscribe to a portion of that theory, but as a Dan Marino lover, if he played in this agent era, we wouldn't be talking about.
I knock him though. I knock him because of it. I think that.
Well, then you got to go look at the San Francisco 49ers roster while he was playing against them in Super Bowl 19 and his roster. And what you're going to look at is 10 possible Hall of Famers versus 1. It's unfair when you have 22 guys, 24 with specials, 25 you want to count the long snapper. But Dan Marino did nothing different.
I'm only saying that the difference between Dan Marino and Tom Brady, if I'm making that argument, is that Tom Brady is now playing in his 9th championship game. Now, you can argue that a guy got farther or based on a great roster and not so far based on a lesser roster.
You can do all of this.
Yeah,
you can put Marino with Belichick.
But anytime you have a guy
this day and age and see exactly what went down.
And LeBron for that matter. And Joe Montana does to a certain extent. But there's other guys. What's his name? Bill Romanowski.
You can't punish Dan Marino
Matt
for
Millen.
having the no-name defense and 4 receivers under 5'9".
All I'm saying, Kevin, is I'm distinguishing between him and another guy like Tom Brady. Based on the amount
Tom
of
Brady deserves that. Tom Brady deserves it, but I'm not talking about the comparison. Okay. Yes, Tom Brady deserves that. It's obvious. He's done it. He's earned it.
It's crazy how many times he's played in Super Bowl.
I know.
That's nuts. That's to me
the only guy he ever lost to. He lost to twice. Sorry, not the only guy he ever lost to, because with the 2 guys he's lost to in the Super Bowl, Eli twice, and Nick Foles. Eli twice and Nick Foles.
The NFC East owns the New England Patriots.
Tom Coughlin, and Doug Peterson. So who the hell knows,
they beat
man?
down the Eagles in 2005. What was that? 39. I think it was 39.
Yeah, it was.
In
Deion Branch
Jacksonville.
Deion Branch was the MVP of that one, though. That was one of the very few Tom Brady did not get. He got 36. He got 38. And he lost those other 3, but he scooped up 49 and 51. So he's going for a number 5.
This would
Super
be
Bowl
Tom's
MVP.
5 MVPs.
Super Bowl MVP. This would be his 5th. And I can't imagine he ain't going to get it if they win. I mean,
this will
Jamar
be
Butler.
his-
Jamar Butler picks off Russell Wilson, and they're like, Tom Brady. In the Mike Martz game, Vinatieri kicked all the game winners. They scored 1 touchdown, I think, had 3 field goals, something like that. They're like, Tom Brady.
But this will be his 6th win, right? If he wins the game.
They won 3. Yes, this will be his 6th win. Absolutely.
Okay.
Yep.
Yes,
they won 36. They won 38. They won 39. They won 49. They won 51.
Yeah.
So that's
over
5.
Atlanta. Yep.
Yes.
So that's cool. I mean, if Strachan were here, he would say dynasties are great for sports, and he's 100% right in my opinion. It's
Sounds
fun.
like a 2-man dynasty now that we just drew it out like this.
Yeah. Yeah, no, the Belichick, if Belichick gets his due, I mean, he's going to be enshrined in enshrinement forever. Wherever they want to put a statue of him, there's going to be a statue of Bill Belichick. And it's going to suck for all the people like us who, when the Patriots came to town in FedEx one day on Sunday afternoon, they were up 42-7, and they went for it on 4th down and scored a touchdown on that play because, they just went for it on 4th down.
Yeah.
That was just a kick to the groin. And I haven't fully gotten over it, but I get it. He's great.
Ken, Tom Brady's going to hand off the ball to Sony Michel in the Super Bowl. When he won his first Super Bowl, Sony Michel was 5 years old.
So great.
So if you do hate Tom Brady, you just hate.
I mean, you got it.
I get it. I do get it. I don't want them to win again.
I
can't
don't
say,
either.
Like in my heart and soul, I want them to win again. But I respect the ever living crap out of what they've done. You cannot look at that and give any negative input.
No.
You're just a hater. Llisten, yes, I
This is
hate
like-
that they
this
win
is
all the
like-
time because I want my guys to win.
I mean, this is, Jimmy Stewart. It's a Wonderful Life moment in professional sports.
I want Drew Brees to have 4.
If New England Patriots win the Super Bowl, I know there's going to be some haters that are going to hate more, and there's going to be some people that go to that side of the spectrum. But man, I think this
That's
is
what
a
it
game
is.
where the New England Patriots win some people over that have been hating on them for the last decade. I do. And I can see multiple ways to be happy about this game. If the New England Patriots lose, there's all of us are going to be like, you can't win them all, blah blah blah, and the Rams will be a great story. But if the Patriots win, I know I'm going to be sitting there on Sunday night thinking, God, like I have been paying attention, and I can't ignore what is blatantly standing right in front of me, which is probably we can't. It's not probable or likely that we'll ever see anything like this ever again for the rest of our lives.
18 years, 9 Super Bowl appearances.
Never.
10 straight 10 straight appearances in the championship game.
No one's
AFC East you
ever
could
going to see
possibly
this
win.
again.
Never. The league has specifically been designed as an anti of this type situation. They want parity so badly.
Yeah.
And Bill Belichick just keeps giving it to Goodell every which way but loose.
Yes, he does.
And you know what? He's taken a couple, but he still keeps finding his way back there, man.
I'm telling you, so this really gets us back to the heart of the matter because we're talking about Goodell and ownership and the state of the NFL and Redskins fans just like wondering if their owners just totally checked out. Brand new yacht, not as big as Jerry Jones, not even close, by the way. So I don't even know if you would even call it a competition.
Soft.
We're talking like 100 million versus 200 plus million.
He tapped on the Jerry Jones stuff about 7, 8.
I'm out. I'm good. I'm just gonna get parked down at the wharf. I'm gonna catch a couple concerts at the Anthem and try to get in and get out watch an IMAX movie.
Yeah.
But in my heart of hearts, I could never be a boating guy. I could never own a super yacht unless I knew that I could. Would you call it a basement if it's down below the surface?
Yeah. Yeah, I
You call it the basement, right?
If you own a yacht that had a movie theater that cost $3 million, you can call the below deck the hull. What do we?
It's got to be called a basement. I mean,
You can call it the basement, and in fact, I would get you as a gift a sign that said the basement.
This is the basement.
And on the way down to the basement, you have to touch it, like at Notre Dame, like the Shamrock play hard for every day. Or
So
whatever it
I
is.
buy the $100 million
The
yacht.
Testudo, you got to rub it.
You get the sign.
I get the sign. Yeah.
That's
Hey, the best
that is
boats-
a verbal contract.
The best boats are your friends' boats. Listen.
Oh, of course.
You have to hire the captain or just
yes.
a regular boat, just on the
I used to
creek
carry
there in
around-
Graysonville. You got to hose that bad boy down. And everyone else is up there by the bonfire already having a new cocktail, and you're back there with your boat shoes on, squirting everything off and making sure. That's a terrible pain in the ass.
I would make a great boat hand for somebody else who's getting me drunk while I'm boat handing.
That's what I'm trying to do.
Yeah, I know. You know what? I would do submarine before I would do a yacht.
I'm never getting on a submarine, so I'm not. I'll buy you a sign, but I'm not
I
touching it.
I need a sign because I used to carry around this I ripped it out of a magazine. They were called, I think they were called Phoenix. The company was called Phoenix. They made submarines, luxury submarines. So you would sail them, but you could actually, I mean, you have to have a crew in the whole nine. It was like $85 million. And I'm thinking, Dan Snyder's yacht was 100, Jerry Jones was 200. I mean, at that point, if you're in that business, why don't you have a submarine? You save yourself $15 million.
How many times you read Hunt for Red October? I'd rather ice skate home naked tonight in 10
no.
below than ever get onto a submarine.
It's got a whole glass wall on the
Oh,
bottom
my
for like this
God.
like lagoon bar
Yeah,
area.
no, I'd rather no chance.
Oh, God.
Zero, absolutely none.
I think I would even like build
None.
just a huge,
You can
gigantic pool.
keep outer space and
submerge
under
it.
the sea, and then have it. I like that. Breathe air naturally and be above water. I think that's kind of how we all live our lives,
Well,
wanting to be above water. If Daniel Snyder bought a $95
someone
million
named
submarine,
Sebastian the Crab might disagree with you.
Whoa.
I mean, I think he even sang a song about it.
I'm out on that too. Under the sea. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. We'll start back up with a little Outcast to get ourselves out. We kind of went long tonight. We appreciate if you guys hung out with us this evening over at Hogs Haven. How do we get out on a positive note? So I guess I'm saying we should draft the first round quarterback. I'm not saying I'm against Kyler Murray. I'm not married to a guy. I'm married to the idea.
We're courting right now. We're courting.
Yeah.
No one's married to anything.
married
This
to the
isn't end all,
idea.
be all.
The
Don't
idea.
hit me up in 2 months and be like, I can't believe this is an ongoing, ever breathing
Yeah, that's
project.
right. Ever
This
living,
is,
ever loving.
But
Diary.
hey, here's the happy ass news. We can keep our shirts open like we're Jim Thomasula around here for at least one more season. And I think that is the big positive. Jim Thomasula coming back. When Jonathan Allen, who's going to have that C on his chest and has taken this locker room over the way we hoped he would,
Yep.
and we're so excited about it, writes out how pumped up he is. He wrote, best news I got all year.
Jim Tomsula coming back. It's a big deal for Redskins fans. I know in the various text chains and Redskin fan circles where we actually still talk about the team, and we like you said, we kind of just deal with the pain. I had a conversation with a guy like that, today at work. Been working with him for 15 years. Hardcore Redskins fan, season ticket holder, no longer season ticket holder, but we talked about the Redskins. Getting Jim Tomsula to stay was a huge deal for Redskins fans because we know he's a good coach. We know our defensive line has a ridiculous amount of upside.
Our 2-year investment has been tremendous, and we get to help him. He gets to help this investment by overseeing.
Yeah, and I
merchandise.
think Settle is a huge. If the Redskins are going to be good in 2019, if we're going to win games, Tim Settle has to be a player for us.
And he wasn't a big factor for us this year, but he's been brought along at his own pace. Jerron Payne is a first-year guy, played more snaps than anyone else on the defensive line, including Jonathan Allen.
I think he had a great rookie year.
Including Jonathan Allen. That's amazing to me, which means he's played more snaps than Jonathan Allen has for 2 years in the NFL.
Correct.
And you put those two monsters next to each other with a guy like Settle, and let's not forget about how beastly Ioannidis can be if healthy.
Yep.
And healthy Ioannidis, and he's played a lot of snaps unhealthy. Let's everyone remember this. Focus on how unhealthy he has been in a lot of these snaps. When he's healthy, we've seen what he's done.
Yeah, he's good just by himself, but to be part of a rotation like that, you can feast. Those guys can feast.
And Ioannidis and Thomasula, aren't they they in a different life, that's father and son.
Don't forget to pay attention to what they're selling us right now. The Washington Redskins are selling us. Now, I think they made a good sale in Jim Tomsula. I think there's just so much PR that has to happen for Bruce and Dan, and to me, this was a big deal. Keep Jim, but the promotion to offensive coordinator for our boy Kev, our other Kev,
Yeah, but
it's a big deal.
I think so too. And all of the angry, tired journalists in this area that have been getting beaten down with their daily job, they love it.
It's a big deal.
If the angriest bastards in town love it, it's got to be worth something. And I think the guy is got a big, bright mind and a big future in this league. And we're the jumping point. Why not?
He's a young, offensive-minded coach who's coming up in the system of young offensive or young. Jay's he's no spring chicken, but he's one of the younger. He's no Belichick either. Younger, more.
He's on the younger side, I think. Overall,
newer philosophies, offensive, his offensive stylings. We've seen guys already come out of the Gruden tree. I mean, if the Jay Gruden tree was McVay and some of these other guys, I'm just saying that I think that if there's only 32 head coaching jobs in the NFL, there's only 32 offensive coordinator jobs in the NFL. And in this NFL, in this era of the NFL, it's offensive driven. If your ability to produce, points is, it's.
I didn't think you meant like
I don't know what else you can produce. Reports, TPS reports, crops.
Children,
Sure,
reproduce,
sure,
whatever.
reproduce.
Hey, Kevin O'Connell's going to be an NFL head coach within the next 3 years.
I think that's probably true also, which is why I think it's a good thing for Redskins fans. I think it's another source of hope and optimism. A lot of people think, oh, we let one get away. McVay, that whole conversation we've already had a million times.
Yeah, it's not that easy.
But to be developed in the business of developing young offensive coordinators, that is a great business to be in as an organization, as a franchise. Mm-hmm. Because if you can get one of them to stay when you have to transition from one to another, you're doing yourself a service by developing those coaches.
When Bill Parcells was the head coach, and Bill Belichick was his defensive coordinator, and he went to take the job with the Jets, like, the Giants fans still lament about letting that one get away. Mm-hmm. Like, no, this is just how the league works.
That's right.
I know it happened to us, and we're big drama queens. We're like, oh God, no.
I love it.
We were doing okay, we thought, with our guy, who brought these guys along and gave them rope to climb. The good thing about Jay Gruden, he was confident enough in his own abilities to allow Sean McVay to take over play calling abilities and shine. And Sean McVay today gave him nothing but credit for that leash, that slack rope, where he wasn't just put in the corner. The way Bill Parcells put Belichick, I mean, that was his whipping boy. Parcells never gave Belichick a chance. He just beat him until he made his way out from the shadows into the sunlight.
He got destroyed in Cleveland.
And then had to re-up again.
Yeah, and did, which is why, which makes the whole people like, why does the NFL have so many retread head coaches? Because the retread head coaches, they're like scratch-off tickets. Mm-hmm. You might scratch off and get a Belichick. I mean, you might scratch off and get a Ray Handley or
Yeah, but the way it works, the Parcells of the world are out there, and he might have been brutal with that guy for 2 decades. But when he talks to an owner, you're going to hear a whole different ball game. There's a different language between football coaches and the rest of the world. And there's a different guy to work for. If you're working for Bill Parcells, it's going to be a little bit different than the resume of Jay Gruden. It's all about where you land at what point. Timing is everything.
Timing's everything, but it just speaks to franchise building, which the Redskins have been terrible at. For example, you talk about having a good coach like Belichick and why that culture and everything works for them. I was reading secondhand, in the office today, someone was saying like the New England Patriots offensive line cost them the same as what Nate Solder made, I think, in this contract year. It's ludicrous, and it's a serviceable good, and they're even missing, I think, a first round pick from an injury on that line. I think if you look at the way the Patriots, for example, have done it, I think there's just obvious and easy ways you can see like how they've been. If you're able to have a serviceable offensive line that stays healthy, which the Redskins can't do, for less than the cost of one premier tackle in the game, that's a crazy advantage. They're obviously paying top dollar at quarterback, but they're cycling through running backs. Sonny Michel's.
Patriots?
Yeah, Patriots.
They're not paying top dollar quarterback.
Well, they're not paying a rookie.
They're paying a premium, but they're not paying top dollar. They're paying top 12, I don't think.
Oh, they are paying top 12.
No, he makes less than 12 guys. I think he's like 13th or 14th highest paid. I'm telling you.
I thought he was close to 20.
It's part of the magic.
Okay. So maybe he took
close
some
to 20. 20 is almost the average.
Yeah, I understood.
That's what I'm saying. I think he's around 13, 12.
And I think it's been one of those things that where every year he's slipped a few spots as the next guy signed.
And he's also been very...
Yeah.
His wife makes a lot of money, You know, the
Don't
Players
remind me.
Association
Don't
doesn't
remind me
wanna
why
mess
I hate
around.
Tom Brady.
But I'm going to say this final
Also
thing.
married to
My final
Giselle?
thing about the culture, the
Really?
culture that's been created with Bill Belichick. He is so far advanced that his culture has nothing to do with family. You never hear Patriots say, Patriots family, we're family. No, it's the Patriots way. The Patriots way. It's respected, but it is cold-hearted.
I can't
and it
handle
is
that he's married
business-driven.
to Giselle.
There is no marriage. There is no family. There is no Patriots family. I feel like I'm part of a family. No. You could be beheaded on the block.
It's
at any second. It is
cold-blooded.
cold-hearted. Exactly. It's Rick James, all 5 fingers across all faces at any given moment. And at some point, I do believe it's going to happen to Tom Brady. They might have
Well,
a
at
better
some
chance
point-
to figure it out. But
No, I don't think so.
I read
at
about
all.
his diet and his hydration. Tom Brady thinks he's so hydrated that he can't get sunburnt. I hope you know this. I read this yesterday. He thinks because of he's the most hydrated human being on the planet with his electrolytes and everything else he puts in. He's got his whole TB12 way. He thinks because he's so hydrated, he says he has mentioned he's stopped getting sunburnt.
He's changed the way his body reacts to the sun.
Wow.
I don't know, but I think
deal with the
it's
devil.
working. It's working. So it's
He got
working.
a much better deal than Snyder did. That's all I know.
My biggest problem with Tom Brady has boiled down to the whole Giselle thing. I'm like, all right, man,
How?
you're just gonna dominate my entire lifetime as a football fan by being in Super Bowls. All right, fine. I'll throw you a little bit of respect for that. My whole life, you're just dominating my whole football fan life. But then you go and marry the hottest woman on the planet. Like, come on, man.
Let him have at it. There's plenty of fish in all the oceans. I mean,
But that's why New
You
England.
did just
but I
fine.
have to hear
What are you
that from
so pissed
Patriots
off
fans.
about?
No, because that's like for some reason that makes him. When I have to listen to Patriots fans talk about him, because you know me, I'm a Brett Favre guy, but Tom Brady is knocking on that door in right now, and I can't deny that. But
he's not knocking on that door.
I think I'm Brett Favre number one all time for
Brett
me.
Favre is knocking on that door.
So that's what I'm saying.
You can have the gunslinger mentality, but
No,
Brett
I'm
Favre
Brett
won
Favre.
one Super Bowl,
I'm Brett Favre.
and Tom Brady's never sent a wiener pick. So, you know,
That is not. You cannot say that with any degree of certainty.
that has been solved. Nothing solvent. Nothing practical. Nothing social media-ish.
Google with the recognition software.
I'll
that
keep
Google
that off
has.
my browser history, my whole everything.
The
You
first
Google it.
time,
Dong
doesn't
pic.
matter. The first time Tom Brady's dong ever gets photographed or videoed ever, the Google recognition, like Apple, they already have a program. They'll spot it. They'll
right.
go
All right,
back
I gotta
across
say
all
it.
social media.
There's that weird time in all of our lives as football fans that we were told, and then there was no judgment.
Don't do it.
There was, no. Do you remember this? It was he had babies within 1 year with his ex, Bridget Moynihan, and just a bunch of, and it was like
Don't remind
and
me,
at the end-
a
at the-
super
at
hot
the- at the end-
model actress.
At the very end, they
So
won the
sorry
Super
for you,
Bowl.
Tom Brady.
Those two became friends,
Yes.
and everything's all hunky dory. Like there's a certain part of that's why people hate the Patriots. Like I'm just saying, Belichick has some like cute younger lady that like actually makes him be personable and takes him places and poses in pictures and takes selfies with them. Like they're just the deal with their devil was done on and off the field. It wasn't Bruce Allen's off the field only. It wasn't Snyder's. Please let me have the team. It was. I mean, listen, if
Brady's
if Lucifer
execution-
Crawfish is on these two guys, they both might disintegrate on Sunday during the halftime show.
What you said earlier when we made our picks for the Super Bowl on the WCAC show, Tom Brady is going to execute at the highest level you can possibly imagine on Sunday. That is the surest bet you can possibly make. And the Rams have no business. Nobody's going to beat him on that day. But I'm picking the Rams because I believe that Jared Goff is not going to make those two mistakes in the first half.
A lot of belief.
I know, because I do think I'm getting
I
Todd
can't
Gurley.
imagine it's not going to be a double-digit whack down. And I am talking about the Super Bowl.
Yes, well, it's only on daylight when we spring forward and when we spring back and get that extra hour, then it's possible.
Double digits only. Never mind.
That's true. Yeah, you're talking about double. Yeah, okay. I see what you're saying.
No, that wasn't what I was saying. I was just trying to figure out what you were thinking.
Let's go ahead and put the last nails in. All right, so I'm asking you this question to take us out tonight. Who starts for the Washington Redskins at quarterback, Week 1?
Colt McCoy. I can't see any other way around that.
I am going to tell you that in Week 1, the Washington Redskins will be starting Daniel Jones at quarterback. That's where I'm at today.
I'd be very intrigued by that. I'd be nervous, but
Sure.
his ceiling is huge. And if anyone has seen him play, and I have, in the pocket, he's Brady-esque with more athleticism, more height. The rest of him is not Brady-esque yet.
And I'm saying that because
he's a Cutcliffe guy.
Maybe make a
he's
move.
Been brought up.
Redskins might make a move.
He's an
to get him.
athlete. He runs fast as shit. He's got side-to-side movements. He's in the pocket. He's able to find a move. He just needs some seasoning, and unfortunately, the Old Bay is empty after 3 years of being in there. All of a sudden, you go to that one last time, and you're like, I got to re-up on Old Bay,
But see, that's the beauty. To me, that's the beauty of Daniel Jones. And I don't know what kind of move the Redskins would have to make to get him or not make a move to get him. But I am happy to because of our acceptance.
But if Colt's on the roster and Daniel Jones is on the roster as our first-round pick, you think that Daniel Jones is the starter?
I'm just saying, well, first of all, I'm just saying.
I think that would be great news.
Because of our acceptance that Alex Smith is not going to play. We have to think about our chances
That's been accepted.
To be a winning team in 2019. Yep. We can get behind a very proficient, mistake-free, professional yeoman's job from Colt McCoy, or I'm saying if we get a guy that can come in and in the offseason prove that he can play in this offense, I don't think he has to be better than McCoy to be our starter week one.
I know.
I think he has to be.
Some say that McCoy has seen Jay Gruden's vision more so than anyone since he's been here.
Yep.
Some say that.
I think he saw routes that Alex Smith wasn't seeing. When Colt McCoy, a couple of throws that he made, even in the Dallas game on Thanksgiving, I think he was looking for a couple routes that Alex Smith wasn't.
And to be fair, that's Jay Gruden's evolution of Alex Smith in the offense versus what he understands with Colt McCoy, which it's different level shit. It is. But yes, Jay Gruden has to be the one that packages that for Alex Smith coming in here after a whole career as a pro, and he couldn't wait. And that's what he said. He can do everything good. I got to figure out. Figure out. So that's pretty cool. But I think Jay Gruden has Colt McCoy's game plan on lockdown, and they're on the same page. And if you ever got the damn chance to prove it, we wouldn't have seen Mark Sanchez ever play football in burgundy and gold. And to this day, that's what makes me the most sad about 2018.
And don't underestimate the presence of Darius Geis for a guy like Colt McCoy. If Colt McCoy is the quarterback for the Washington Redskins in Week 1 and Darius Geis is healthy, I mean, you're talking about a lot of ability for Jay Gruden's offense to run through Darius Geis, because Colt McCoy knows Jay Gruden's offense better than anyone, and Jay Gruden's offense works amazingly well when it's being run through a guy like Geis or Thompson, for that matter.
Geis, with Peterson giving him a blow on occasion, with Thompson coming in on third down and getting his own packages, could be the reason why a Colt McCoy and a strong-ass defense could exist next year for us to get in the positive.
It's what Belichick's doing with Michelle and James White.
I know
what he's doing.
I'm with you, but it's very hard to say Tom Brady and Colt McCoy together. And
well, I'm more comparing Michelle and White with Geis and Thompson.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're going to run two tight ends and a fullback out there.
Hey, Geis and Adrian Peterson wouldn't mind going up in that trade.
No.
To see who understands it. Hey, whatever it is, I love my guys, and I'm hoping for the best. And we can't have 49 injuries over the next 2 seasons, can we?
I mean, that's the other thing. Whether we get Kyler Murray or Daniel Jones, if you're going to have 20 starters go on the IR,
I'm just not afraid of Kyler. I love Daniel Jones.
Sure.
I love Haskins. I think Haskins and Daniel Jones would be best served with a guy in front of them for 1 year, not thrown into the fire.
I'd love
just
to
my
not.
Opinion.
I'd love to not have to draft a quarterback in the first round, but I'm feeling very strongly about having to do that.
I think
from a value
I'm feeling
standpoint,
exactly what you're feeling. The value standpoint is the only standpoint when you're $40 million, looking at $40 million in the hole over a 2-year span.
You got to have a cheap
$40 million for nothing when everyone else has that 40.
There's no quarterback that has any chance of playing in the NFL on a 4-year, $15 million contract.
After Bruce got us that penalty, this is like the same damn thing, except for we have no quarterback.
We have no quarterback. So
Jesus Christ.
You're, the only way you can get cheap labor at the quarterback position is in the draft, and I think you got to take the best one you can get. All right.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
I just hope we get the right one. So
like
many
I
things
said,
need to happen.
There's
5-team parlay.
It's like blowing up the Death Star. If we get it right in the exact little spot, the whole thing works. So
And all we need is a Luke. And we got
and we
one.
just got a Luke.
And we got one.
Luke Steven
We
Strachan.
got it.
Dude, that's a nice.
I think we just figured it out. I think you just helped me figure it out with you together for us with T not here.
So where's the Super Bowl next year? We should probably start making those plans. Because that obviously that's the bet. That's the bet. The reason why I know the Redskins will be great next year is because no one will be predicting them to do anything good. They're going to come out of nowhere and be just sound. And Dan Snyder and Bruce Allen are going to stand over us and be like,
you have to be an
"Hey."
asshole to predict we're going to do something good. Sorry to interrupt.
Yes, of
But
course.
you have to be a real asshole next year to be like,
No one's going to predict
I
it.
feel it in my bones.
So we're going to be great. We're going to make the playoffs. We'll probably at least win 1 or 2 games. And Dan Snyder and Bruce Allen are going to lord over us and be like, I told you. We knew what we were doing.
It was all a matter of patience.
Yes.
You impatient sons of bitches.
Like, ah.
You know what? I'll take that
Yeah, I'll take it too.
for that.
You can do it, Dan.
Hey, I don't care who takes the credit.
All
I
right.
just care about that team on the field.
Let's come back next Tuesday night. We do not have a broadcast next Tuesday. We will be on February 9th.
Yes, we do.
McNamara, what I'm saying, we don't have a live broadcast before next Tuesday.
Oh, fair enough.
On next
Hey,
Tuesday.
Love is a Battlefield. It was
Love
the
is a Battlefield.
perfect song to have on for this conversation.
It was.
And it is. And it is.
Thanks for joining us this evening on the Audible. On this week's episode of Offseason on the Brink. Appreciate you, Hogs Haven, Jet 2410. Thank you so much for making it this far with us all night long. James, we salute you. We probably should have saluted you at the beginning. If you haven't signed off now, I don't know why you haven't signed off by now. But thanks for sticking around with us this long if you have.
We did go long, but I was having a good time.
I was too. We're going to have T back in studio next Tuesday night. I'm excited about an off season because it's going to be fun. We will have a live draft show this year. We're going to promote that just a little bit more because I thought last year was a lot of fun. Especially with Mike Mayock gone, guess what? The best live draft show in town is going to be in this basement.
If you want to get punched in the face for your drafters, this is the first place to look after Mayock's gone. I loved it. Look.
That's great.
There's many guys that have wanted to punch. Listen, a Baltimore punch in the face was all we could get for about 15 years. I loved having Mayock in there.
Here's the best. I mean, I support Mel Kiper.
I know that was my Baltimore helmet,
Yep.
punch in the face. So much hairspray, you can't even stand it.
I was punching Todd McShay for trying to infringe upon Mel's
I know, you hated that.
world.
But he reminds me a bit of McVay.
McShay? No, I'm saying who does?
McShay.
McShay reminds me of McVay.
Kind of came in and swooped in and like smartly stole.
Todd McShay couldn't hold McVay's jock. You know what? Todd McShay's. I respect his.
That's fair.
Stick aroundness.
Stick-to-itiveness.
But I mean, Mel Kiper and his ability to kind of have that look that he knows everything about all the college players, but he's also handicapped all the races this weekend. So if you want to talk to him about the ponies Saturday morning, he's probably going to be able to tell you who's going to win that match behind those shaded glasses and that awesome helmet of hair.
Yeah, and we're not going down the ocean this weekend for 500. I get you in there, 3-bedroom. Place is fairly clean.
You'll be fine. You'll love it. It'll be the best week of your life. Hopefully it's the best week of your life. Until next Tuesday night, he's Kevin Ricca.
Hey, thanks, man. Appreciate you guys listening. If you're still listening, great night and Tuesday. Be safe tomorrow driving.
I'm Ken Marangolo, and this was The Audible. Still live.
Still live.
Still live. After all.